On this episode of the Red and Gold Report, we're going to be breaking down the Chiefs' 2022 schedule that was just released by the NFL. And there is a lot of interesting stuff going on with this schedule. So let me start by pointing out 5 interesting things about the Kansas City Chiefs 2022 schedule that we just received. 5 things. First, this is a hard schedule. The combined record of the Chiefs' 2022 opponents in 2021 was 154 wins to 135 losses with a win percentage of 53.3. That is the 5th hardest strength of schedule in the league. And it actually seems a little harder than that. Here's a fun fact I figured out. Out of the 13 other teams who made the playoffs last season, the Chiefs are going to play 8 of those teams in the regular season this upcoming season in 2022. Yeah, here's another fun fact. This upcoming season, the Chiefs will be the first team in NFL history to start the season with 8 straight teams that had winning record the previous year. Yeah. In their first 8 games, the Chiefs' opponents had an 85 win and 51 loss record in 2021. And 3 of the first 4 games are on the road. So first thing to know about the Chiefs' schedule, it's a hard one, but nothing we can't overcome. Second, the schedule makers at the NFL league office, they must hate us or something. And by us, I mean Chiefs fans, because it seems like they're being cruel to us fans. Seriously, they are making us relive our worst moments, like our worst moments of grief over the last few years. I mean, you're making us play the Bengals? Don't you know that some of us are still grieving the AFC Championship collapse that stopped us one half away from returning to the Super Bowl? Seriously, you're making us also play the Rams, who got to lift the Lombardi trophy last year that we thought was going to be ours? Seriously, you're making us play the Buccaneers, who beat us in the Super Bowl after the 2020 season? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Chiefs are going to beat all 3 of those teams, but come on, NFL. It's just too much. Don't make me relive all of those worst moments of my fandom in one season. It's just too much. Third, the NFL knows people want to watch our Chiefs. Seriously, through the last decades, without being a huge market team or a coastal team, it's been hard for the Chiefs to gain a lot of national notice that they've deserved. But not anymore. The Chiefs were able to pull in 5 primetime contests, meaning we are one of 12 teams who will be playing the maximum number of primetime games. Because it's not just Chiefs fans like us, it's all of football fans, really, who want to see Patrick Mahomes and company on the gridiron. But these primetime games also mean that the Chiefs are scheduled for just 5 total noon kickoffs this season. So sorry if you love those noon kickoff games. Oh, and I got to mention this just because it's another fun fact and it's kind of hilarious. Every single team in the entire NFL has at least one primetime game, except the Lions, which is just funny. Fourth, watch for a late season burst for our Chiefs. For the first half of the season, it's not an easy road, playing 8 teams in a row with winning seasons last year, but then the difficulty level should ease up a little bit after our Week 8 bye. Yes, I know there will be hard games in the second half of the season against the Rams and the Bengals. However, between Weeks 10 and 16, there are 3 games that, well, they seem to be gimme games. In Week 10, we play the Jaguars, who, there's a reason they got to draft first overall 2 consecutive seasons in a row. In Week 15, we get to play the Texans, who might be the most rudderless organization in the entire league. And in Week 16, we get to play the Seahawks, who were already pretty bad last season and are going to be super bad without Russell Wilson this season. So my thought is, if we can make it to our Week 8 bye game with a winning record, with those 3 games to look forward to in the second half of the season, well, we should be punching our ticket to the playoffs yet again. And 5th interesting thing to notice about this schedule, this is going to be the most challenging year in many years for the Chiefs to win our division. Now, this isn't a surprise. This isn't just something with the schedule release, but as you look up and down the schedule, it's kind of a reminder of how hard our division has become. Of course, we play our division opponents twice every single year, but our division is getting a lot better. and it's getting better quick. I mean, we're looking at 2 games against the now Russell Wilson-led Broncos. We're looking at 2 games against the rapidly improving Justin Herbert-led Chargers, who just added a lot of key pieces on defense. And we're looking at 2 games against the Derek Carr-led Raiders, who just added the best wide receiver in the league in Devontae Adams. The AFC West division is not going to just roll over for us this year, but I still expect our Chiefs to be successful in their bid for a 7th, yes, a 7th consecutive AFC West title. Hey, real quick, make sure to subscribe to the Red and Gold Report on YouTube for all your best Chiefs news. Hit the like button on this video, the notification bell to keep up to date. Okay, well, with those big picture observations out of the way, let's take just a couple minutes to head through the Chiefs 2022 schedule week by week. So in week 1, the Chiefs will face off against Patrick Mahomes' old college coach, Cliff Kingsbury, and the Arizona Cardinals. The game will be in Arizona, and while the Cardinals were good last season at times, they've had a really rough offseason, and I expect it to be a victory to start the season for our Chiefs. In week 2, the Chiefs are going to host the Chargers on Thursday night, so it's going to be a short week. It will be broadcast on Amazon Prime Video, so get your subscription now. Wait, don't. Amazon's not paying me to say that. And this really promises to be a challenging matchup within the improving Chargers team, but of course, our Chiefs are going to win that one too. On week 3, the Chiefs head to Indianapolis to play the Colts in a very winnable matchup. But then in week 4, our Chiefs have to head to Tampa Bay for a Sunday night nationally televised game against Tom Brady and whoever else plays for the Buccaneers, which should be a blast to watch. Then in week 5, we return to Arrowhead to play the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Then in week 6, we get to see the Bills come to Arrowhead for a Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes rematch of last year's playoff game, which might be the best ending to any playoff game of all time, and this has already been circled by the media as one of the best upcoming games in the entire year. In week 7, the Chiefs head to San Francisco to play a 49ers team who still doesn't know who their quarterback is. In week 8, we get a nice mid-season week bye to heal up. I'd prefer a late season bye to get healthy before the playoffs, but hey, mid-season, still great, breaks up the season nicely, nothing to complain about there. In week 9, we get another nationally televised Sunday night game against King Henry and the bruising Tennessee Titans. But then in week 10, we get to host the hapless Jaguars at Arrowhead, which I think I could probably be plugged in at safety and we would still win the game. In week 11, we head to LA to play the Chargers. In week 12, the Chiefs host the Super Bowl defending LA Rams at Arrowhead. In week 13, the Chiefs head to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. This will be a rematch of the heart-wrenching AFC Championship loss that we had last year. In week 14, the Chiefs will defeat the Broncos at Mile High Stadium because we've already beat them 13 times in a row, and that'll be a Sunday night game. In week 15, the Chiefs head to Houston. Yes, it's the 3rd straight away game at that point in the season, but hey, it's against the tumultuous Texans, so it shouldn't really matter. In week 16, the Chiefs will host the Seahawks on Christmas Eve, who without Russell Wilson, yeah, good luck, Seattle, not making that a Christmas present for our Chiefs. In week 17, on New Year's Day, the Chiefs will host the Broncos, meaning, yes, we will play the Broncos twice in 4 weeks. And finally, to round out the season in week 18, we'll get to play the Raiders, who I'm sure will have found a very creative way to collapse late in the season by that point. And that is the Chiefs 2022 schedule for you. But let me know what you think. What do you think will be the most challenging game of the Chiefs schedule next season? What's going to be the easiest? What are some of the themes that you see overall in the schedule? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks for watching, and go Chiefs!